The Rovers into the box. TSS Rovers! Down. Mayers again. Tucked in. Moore equalizes at the death. The Victorian local boy can win it. Yes! And Pacific come back and survive. TFC back to work. It's a brilliant ball. An easy finish. 5 different goal scorers in the match for TFC as they cruise to the quarterfinal round. For design play to send it intentionally wide. Lined up. Fire deflected. And Saint-Laurent scored. Talbot gets a shoulder. It trickles in. And he can eliminate the Halifax Wanderers. Kane! He scores! Saint-Laurent will advance and will host Toronto FC!
Here we go again. Canada, 2 games on tap for you tonight as the quarterfinals of the TELUS Canadian Championship continues on One Soccer. League One side CS Saint-Laurent welcomes to Quebec an informed Toronto FC team. And in Ottawa, it's a battle between 2 of the best CPL sides, Atlético Ottawa versus Pacific. It's Match Day Live right here on One Soccer. Andy Petrillo, Gareth Wheeler, and Jordan Wilson with you. Yes, we are in the quarterfinals stage of the TELUS Canadian Championship. It actually began yesterday. Here's an update and a reminder of how the bracket is forming out. So Vancouver Whitecaps defeating Cavalry FC last night by a score of 2-1. Cavalry getting one back late in that game. So they have one on the board as they head back to Vancouver for the second leg. And then earlier in the day, CF Montreal Forge FC, that was a good battle. It ended 1-1. Forge very much still in it against the MLS side. Well, let's continue talking about a Montreal side, and that would be CS Saint-Laurent, who defeated, as you saw there, Halifax to get to this point. What did they do in that match to earn the right to be in the quarterfinals?
It felt like only yesterday they captured the hearts of a nation. It wasn't yesterday, it was like maybe the day before. It happened so quickly at the end of last week, upsetting Halifax Wanderers 1-1, took it to penalties. They were cool, they were calm, they were composed, and deserved winners on the day. They were extremely aggressive at times, Andy Petrillo. They just didn't sit back and defend like we saw TSS Rovers, another semi-pro club, do against Pacific the week before. There is a lot of talent in this club. There is pedigree about these players and about this club as well. This is the former club of Ismail Kone, and he was with this club before they even joined the PLSQ, the predecessor to League One Quebec. He'll be watching tonight. The country will be watching tonight because they knocked down a big dog last week, but now they got a bigger dog right in front of them over 2 legs in Toronto FC.
This is the biggest test they could ask for. I mean, Toronto FC playing at home, your friends and family coming, they have to be excited for this, but they deserve to be here tonight, Andy.
Yeah, they've won 4 straight TFC has in all competitions. I mean, this is a team right now, as I said, in form.
Dangerous. They're looking good, and they've grown. I mean, for me, yeah, Bernardeschi, obviously, you're looking at the 2 Italians. Obviously, Insigne is injured at the moment, but Bernardeschi, when you look...
Don't give him the inside. He gave him the inside.
Look, that is, honestly, that is such a strike from a guy that you know he's going to... It's like Iron Robin. You can't really stop him cutting in on his favorite foot. But this team's growing. They're gelling under John Herdman. And tonight should just be a statement match for them as well.
You just compared Bernardeschi to Arjen Robben. How dare you?
The chop.
Look, he played wonderful. That was TFC's best game of the season on Saturday. Big difference here, though, Jordan. 8 changes to their starting 11. Only Osorio, Gomis, and Coelho remain in the starting 11. Herdman has used his depth at times this season. The one thing that's been consistent, Andy, about this group is their work rate, their preparation, their commitment. All things that this team had massive question marks about last season. Although the output isn't always there. 25th in Major League Soccer in expected goals, 22nd in expected goals against, and 24th in overall expected goal differential. They're punching above their weight right now. Let's be clear about that. But they're meeting the right team at the right time, another semi-professional side, which allows Herdman to rotate and keep his eye cast on New York City FC this Saturday. Of course, he's not going to overlook this opponent, but the changes tonight suggest that he thinks that this should be one that can be taken care of with relative ease.
In the bag.
But also has depth on the bench. He did not rule out Federico Bernardeschi possibly coming into this match. We'll get to starting 11s in just a moment because we do have another game that's kicking off at 7 p.m. Both these games, by the way, kicking off at 7 p.m. ET. I guess we're going to dub this the great offense versus the great defense. And Atlético Ottawa, of course, setting a Canadian championship record when they beat Valor in the preliminary round. 7-0 was the final, so largest margin there. So 15 goals for to Pacific 6. But goals against just 1. And by the way, that was TSS Rovers who scored against Pacific. So they have yet to concede a goal in league play. What are you expecting here?
Well, I'm pleasantly surprised by what I've seen from Atlético Ottawa here out of the gate. I wasn't sure how quickly they would gel, and I find that Carlos Gonzalez has tinkered with this team in all the right ways. Bringing in Tissot to be the captain, add some more defensive wherewithal, because with Tuartek and Debrienne bombing down the wings, there wasn't a whole lot of protection for the back two. There's work rate, there's clearly talent in this side. A couple changes that are noteworthy we'll get into in a few moments' time, but if you're Atlético Ottawa with all those changes, things couldn't have gone any better through this initial stage of the season.
No, Wheels, you said it right. I didn't think Atlético Ottawa would kick it into gear so early, but tonight's a night to really test, and I think they have the perfect test against this squad right here, Pacific FC. They've cleaned it up a bit, right? Even playing in the CPL, you could always expect Pacific FC to have the ball and to dominate games. But I kind of like how clean and tidy and no nonsense they've become this season. But this is a match you're going against players that you know can hurt you. Didic is playing his former club. This is just a statement match, and hopefully we'll see whoever wants it more, but hopefully there's a side that really shows that there's a superior one.
The first team in Canadian Premier League history to not concede a goal through their first 4 games. Andy, but some of these wins, even in the Canadian Championship, they haven't come easy. But as a manager, you almost want those early season tests and show that your team has it in them to kind of grind through and persevere. And we've seen a lot of that from this squad that generally is known for playing some really good attacking football.
With these two CPL sides facing each other, we're guaranteed a CPL team in the semifinals. Atlético Ottawa will be looking to go to the semis for the very first time in the Canadian Championship. Let's go back to the other game that we're going to be showing at 7 p.m. ET. CS Saint-Laurent taking on Toronto FC. CS Saint-Laurent, here is their starting 11 up top. That number 7, Mamadou Kane. He's the one who scored on a penalty to tie the game, send it to pens. Also had a big one as well. It was so much excitement for this young squad. Joining us on the show is Ramtin Maharpour, the assistant for CS Saint-Laurent. Appreciate you taking the time. And, you know, here we go again. This is a well-earned berth into the quarterfinals. I'm curious to know how long you let the lads celebrate before getting back to business.
To be honest, it was a celebration for pretty much the whole night, and that was it. And as soon as we got back to the hotel, our mind was already thinking about the next step, since we didn't have that much time. But yeah, not that long, to be honest. We wish it was a bit longer, but no, that was it.
Well, I can tell you that it was definitely memorable for us in here in studio. And what stood out for us with you guys against Halifax was that how you were on the front foot. You weren't afraid to press. But of course, you have a different opponent here tonight. What do you want your approach to be against Toronto FC?
Look, to be honest, first of all, thank you for the compliments, because we wanted to show a bit of a brand of soccer, but now it's a different ball game. I mean, we had a couple friendlies with CPL teams, so we had an idea of how to prepare. But now against an MLS team, it's a bit, it's next level. So we're trying to be as humble as possible, but at the same time, we still want to show our brand. You know, we don't want to play scared. We want to be respected, and we want to show what Saint-Laurent is about.
Can't wait to see you, Ramtin. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you guys very much.
Even he wanted to celebrate a little bit longer, but back to business because the quarterfinals are starting right away for them. Let's talk about Wesley Wanje.
He won me over last week. Like, there's no question about that. He really had me at hello. Last week, he had me in the fields, man. Great player, but I think it's just the character that he possessed. You could see it. Like, it definitely went within the squad. Today's going to be different. His assistant manager just alluded to that this is going to be a whole different game. Not bombing forward, not going forward the same amount that he was, but just still, can you be that guy to ignite this team and really keep them together? So I hope he does. because there was just a bright spark last week.
Well, that's where the attack came from, down that right-hand side. It's going to have to be a little bit more reserved. 2 changes to the starting 11. This guy was always going to be there. I thought he was fantastic.
He was.
Holding down the left side of the pitch. Obeng Tabby, who played 19 games with Halifax Wanderers last season, went and beat his former club. He's going to have a job to do because Toronto FC love to bring their fullbacks high, get them involved, all kinds of really intelligent movement by this John Herdman side. So he's going to have his work cut out for him here tonight.
Yeah, these players, of course, will be looking for that same kind of excitement they had against Halifax, but you heard Rampton even say it. There's a little bit of a humility here as they're approaching Toronto FC, but that doesn't mean they want to take anything sitting down. How about Quemi?
I mean, Quemi and Nana up top, I mean, they were a handful. This guy scored the second Saint-Laurent goal. Quemi was outstanding on the night. He's another one of those players with futsal pedigree. He was playing in the CONCACAF Championship just last month. Led the group stage with 6 goals before being suspended for a quarterfinal match, which Canada did end up losing to Costa Rica. But this guy is the real deal up top. It was so many changes in this Toronto FC team. It's going to be up to Nana and Quemi to cause some havoc. And both players technically good. They're quick. I think that they can do some damage here tonight.
Is there one match where you say, oh, this guy can move on? They convinced me last week, like, they're all CPL players and should all be getting a contract or moving on to a high level because the way that they see the game. So we hope that they can showcase themselves a little bit more tonight, even though it's a different atmosphere. But again, they deserve to be here and be in that party.
Completely different ball game, though, against an MLS side, Toronto FC. And right now, Toronto is on fire. We just showed you they're coming off that 3-1 win over Dallas. Here's a look at their starting 11. And, you know, Prince Owusu has been scoring for them, is on the bench, as mentioned. Bernadeschi, he's going to be available for John Herdman as well. So there's a look at their roster, and they are not taking this game lightly. Toronto FC head coach John Herdman joining me now. Another round, John, another League One opponent. Do you feel this game, though, will be different?
Oh yeah, this will be different for sure. You know, you just look at the conditions. An away match, which it really does give it that extra bit of ingredient for the opposition. So yeah, this will be a tough match for us tonight. The players have been made aware of. I think it'll come down to the mentality, but we just can't make any excuses regardless. But this will be a tight game.
Mm-hmm. Well, and this is something Toronto FC has been able to do this year, is play in tight games, and it's no secret the struggles, you know, with this organization the last few years, and it's left fans asking, what is the identity of this team? But such a strong start for you and your squad this year. So what can you tell us about TFC's identity?
Well, it'll be revealed tonight. It'll be tested tonight, that's for sure. I mean, there's been a work ethic instilled in the group. And I think, like I say, watching this team, they're well organized, so we're going to have to be tactically at it. But I think tonight, your work ethic and your intensity is going to have to come through. This is going to be a tricky match for us, so it has to come through, Andy. That's the reality tonight, that work ethic that we've instilled in the group.
All right, well, home and away, this is leg one. Appreciate you taking the time. Dry up, and best of luck.
Thank you. All the best.
There's definitely no sleeping at the wheel under John Herdman. He wants that intensity all the time. And he's getting the buy-in from the team. You just look at their record already at 6 wins compared to 4 overall last season, scoring goals, sitting in the top 3 right now in the conference, in Eastern Conference, and MLS. Everything is working. So let's highlight some of these players. And let's start with Kobe Franklin.
Yeah, first off, there's going to be a reference point for Herdman for this game tonight because he was at Swangard Stadium last year and watched TSS Rovers beat Valor. Grass field, grass is a little bit longer, heavy, so they'll know what it's required. Kobe Franklin, every time he plays, I'm impressed by this kid. Yeah. He's still 20 years old, but he's built like an ox. He played 27 games last season for Toronto FC. And speaking to Terry Dunfield, the interim manager at the time, he loved what he brought to the table, the consistency that he brought in week out. Now, he's playing a different position. He's a wingback, and he had 2 assists in the Canadian Championship win over Simcoe County Rovers last week. We'll see if he can build off that because he's more known for his defensive prowess than he is for his attack.
Yeah, no, he's been exceptional throughout the season and just growing into his new role. But for me, as someone who stands out as an opportunity for tonight, this is a confidence match. This is a one where you go, John Herdman's talking about work ethic, but DeAndre Kerr, the 21-year-old, tied for 5 goals last season, Wheels, with Bernadeschi. Yeah, it's not a huge number, but he showed up in big moments, right? And it's just a tender age of 21. So for me, he has to be leading the lines, leading with pressure. And this should be a match where he's looking at and trying to put pressure on John Herdman to get in the lineup and to get more minutes and even start matches.
This is a good opportunity for the depth definitely to show themselves. And once again, we know John Herdman hasn't been shy about saying he wants to pump goals past the opposition. And with this being a home and away, starting on the road, why not get those away goals and kind of make it an easier match when you welcome CS Saint-Laurent to BMO Field. So that's the one game, CS Saint-Laurent TFC. The other game coming up at 7 p.m. Atlético Ottawa Pacific. We're going to be hearing from their 2 coaches next when we return to Match Day Live on One Soccer.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Life's better with extra space. Space for family. Space for memories. Space for you. Try 4 weeks free. Access Storage, proud partner of Canada Soccer.
To play. It's something that's in us from the very beginning, and something we take with us on every step of the journey. When we have no words, it gives us a way to speak. When we are still finding our way in the world, it gives us somewhere to belong. And no matter who we are or where we come from, it gives us the right to dream.
Christine Sinclair as she scores at her 5th World Cup. Alfonso Davies!
It's time to celebrate the game we love. It's time to play.
Here's Atlético Ottawa's starting 11, emphatic 7-0 victory in the preliminary round over Valor. 3 players bagging a brace in that one. Atlético Ottawa head coach Carlos Gonzalez joining us now. And Carlos, you could not have asked for a better start to the season, a better start to the Canadian Championship. But now you're facing Pacific, a team that does have an identical record to you in the CPL season. How are you approaching this match?
Yeah, absolutely. They are in a great dynamic also. So today we have a great test, you know. At the end of the day, we are in a magnificent routine of last 10 days with 3 victories. So yeah, we look forward to do a good game, to continue the good things that we have been doing and to grab a good result.
You're a team that can definitely score, and one player who has been doing just that for you is Ruben Del Campo. I know this is a home and away, and I know a lot of times we see coaches doing rotation. Is that the thinking here with him as he starts on the bench tonight?
Well, you know, at the end of the day, the players are not machines. And as I said, in the last 10 days, we've played so much minutes, and we play again in Vancouver soon. So what we try to do is put in new energy so that we can keep our plan, our identity, and that's the main target.
Carlos, looking forward to another great match. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you so much, Andy. Goodbye.
Of those 3 players, Ruben Del Campo was the one who picked up a brace as well in that Valor game. But yes, he'll be on the bench here tonight. So let's turn our attention to someone else who we have seen in the past score some goals. How about Sam Salter?
Sam Salter, I affectionately call him Toucan Sam.
You do.
My guy played against this guy at Halifax Wanderers. I thought last year when he came to Atlético Ottawa, he grew into his role. He had 7 goals, but he didn't have any competition wheels, respectfully. Now he does. Del Campo's heating up. This is a statement match. So anytime you get to play Canadian Championship, anytime you get to start, you have to convince your manager that you are the guy for the job. Sam, I believe in you, buddy, but it's gut check time.
Salter's one thing, but give me some pepper.
Ooh,
give me a little bit more. Manny Aparicio provides the pow for this Atlético Ottawa team. Look, it's a big game for Manny. Played 78 games for Pacific and won a North Star Shield, well, now North Star Cup with Pacific at that time. Same thing goes for Amir Didic, playing their former side tonight. He has been everything and more that they would have expected in our nation's capital. 2 goals out of the gate, willed them to victory in their first game of the season against York, leads the line in terms of the press. He is Mr. Everything for this team. He sets the tone, and it's going to be a big look at me now type game, type potential moment for him tonight playing his former side.
Without fail, when you talk to players, even if they've left their former club on a good note.
Can't lose.
No, you circle that day. You say, I am not going to lose against them. And here's the starting 11 that James Merriman is putting together. As mentioned, yet to concede a goal in league play. They've only conceded 1 goal. That was in the preliminary round to CSS Rovers. So that defense for Pacific has been looking really good. Pacific head coach James Merriman joining me now. And James, we're kind of dubbing this, Atlético Ottawa, a team that can really score. Pacific, you guys are stingy defensively. So we feel like we know your team, but at the same time, that was a close call against TSS Rovers. What did you learn about your team that you were able to pull off that victory?
I think these type of games can happen. This is cup competition. You see the games with Forge and Montreal, tight game, Cavalry and Whitecaps as well. Obviously, it was a difficult game with us. With TSS, they defended really well. We need to be more decisive in the attack, and we found a way. We found a way in the end. We trusted Emile to come in, and he made 2 great saves, and we finished it off to advance. And now we know we have 2 big games here with Ottawa.
Looking forward to it, James. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, Andy. Thank you.
Really looking forward to this match because I want to see who's going to crack first. It's the first time they're facing each other this season as well, and they're off to great starts in the CPL. Let's begin, though, with Rian Moore.
First of all, outstanding hair, James Merriman.
You are obsessed with his hair.
I got to say it every time. He is way more than me, and more is more for Pacific as well, as in Rian Moore.
A lot of people who coach in the CPL wheels. I just want to say,
like to
Tommy.
I'm not hating.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I'm actually giving them their due. Rian Moore has been great out of the player. They didn't really have at least an effective one last season, playing the number 9. Scored the match winner, or the equalizer, I should say, last week in the Canadian Championships that sent it to extra time. He has a goal in Canadian Premier League play as well. 8 and 25 for Trinidad and Tobago, the national team as well. And I don't care how good you are defensively, you need a player that can finish and lead the line like Rian Moore.
Yeah, he's been heating up, but for me, the best and biggest signing, Ali Endam, has come into this team, and he has just been exceptional. Now, my question or my challenge is, we know that he has the quality, but can you provide the leadership? Now you're playing against Atlético Ottawa away, quarterfinals. You want to get to that semifinals. You need a big boy performance, but that big leadership, and I want to see Endam take it to that level. I think he has it in it.
And he's looking on the other side, saying, "Hey, Didic, this is my team now." And that partnership with Thomas Mayer-Jaguar, it's happened just like that.
Effortlessly, it's seamless with those two. And dare I say it, I didn't think that anyone could replace Didic in the side, but it looks almost even better at times with Endam.
That left foot, very good.
Atlético Ottawa Pacific getting you set for that one. And there was a big announcement today in the Canadian Premier League. Really excited about this because today it announced the launching of the On Tour series. And this series will stage competitive games at neutral sites across the country in the coming years. The goal is to connect with fans and explore possible new CPL markets. Beautiful. So the 2024 edition of the On Tour series will feature Vancouver FC facing Cavalry at Kelowna, BC's Apple Bowl on June 16th. I really hope so. Let's start advocating for that right now. But I love that they're getting into the different markets. This is what it's about, going out and showcasing the CPL to other parts of this beautiful country as the game continues to grow. You know who can attest to that? CS Saint-Laurent getting set to take on TFC.
warranty for $150.
Go ad-free for $29.99.
Only 3 easy payments of $49.99 if you act now.
We make thousands of financial decisions every day. Each one affects bigger decisions tomorrow. Stay on top of it all with the CIBC Smart Account.
Do we really have any choice at all? Everyone has a choice, and every choice has a consequence.
Which do you choose?
Life's full of tough choices, isn't it?
How do you choose?
Life's better with extra space. Space for family. Space for memories. Space for you. Try 4 weeks free. Access Storage, proud partner of Canada Soccer.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
I do this for my town, my time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
How do you go from the best to the ultimate without breaking the bank? You choose the big, bold, ultimate taste of ultimate chicken sausages and hot dogs. Choose ultimate taste and value, only from Maple Lodge Farms.
Let's go, let's go.
Absolute mayhem when children celebrate. I mean, they are just falling all over the place. But you know what? I will watch that each and every time over the managers and their awkward high fives. They obviously are excited. CS Saint-Laurent going to the quarterfinals. That is what I'm talking about. All right, so what are we expecting? By the way, for everyone watching right now, CS Saint-Laurent Toronto FC, that will be on the main network. For those of you who would like to watch Atlético Ottawa Pacific, that will be on the One Soccer app. What are we expecting?
Let's see if they can recapture the magic of last week. Mamadou Kane, Loic Kwemi. Let's see if they can do some damage. TFC will try to take advantage of a little bit of a smaller goalkeeper. Maniatis did really well for Saint-Laurent, but this is a different kettle of fish this time around.
It is, and just see this team if they stick together and defend well, and I hope that they do. But remember that they deserve to be here and enjoy that moment. So
enjoy the occasion.
I hope they do it.
Make the most of it.
Absolutely.
Well, and as John Herdman pointed out, once again, wet, windy conditions. Sometimes that can play to your opponent. So these games should be juicy. It's the TELUS Canadian Championship on One Soccer.
The TELUS Canadian Championship on One Soccer is brought to you by Toyota.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
The TELUS Canadian Championship on One Soccer is brought to you by CIBC.
CanadaSoccerStore.com is the official home for the widest range of Canada Soccer licensed product, match jerseys, and fanwear.